it is my duty to place before you certain facts about the present position in Europe. From Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an iron curtain has descended across the continent.
It's my great honor to be joining you today to commemorate Black Ribbon Day, the signing of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. It was a dark moment, not only in European history, but in world history, where two totalitarian governments joined together in asserting their right and their ability to dictate to the world and dictate to the countries of Eastern Europe how they would live and how they would be divided up. It was the ultimate in cynicism, the ultimate in immorality and in illegality. And it's important for us to remember as we commemorate that day that it did not succeed. That ultimately the peoples of Eastern Europe came together and ultimately decided that they would determine their own future in a democratic, tolerant, and pluralistic way. And it's important for us to remember that, to commemorate the courage of the millions who died after the signing of this pact, and for us to recommit ourselves to the values of democracy, of international law, of respect for human rights, and the importance of our recognizing the incredible sacrifice that was made in the name of freedom. We owe that generation everything. Thank you.
Today marks Black Ribbon Day, a time to remember and pay tribute to millions of victims of Nazism and communism in Europe. On this day in 1939, Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union formed an alliance that led to a murder of innocent people, the destruction of communities, and forced many to flee and rebuild their lives in a place like Ontario. Today and every day, we remember the strength and bravery of those who tragically lost their lives during one of the darkest periods in human history. Let us learn from the tragedies of the past and work together to build a better, safer, and brighter future for all.
Millions of Canadians whose families fled Nazi and Soviet occupation, colonization, and terror joined together on August 23rd to remember all of the victims of these evil regimes. We're thankful to the Canadian government and our fellow citizens who recognize this dark history and who join us in honoring their memory. For millions of Canadians, this history is a key part of their story and identity as Canadians. It's how we came to be here and how we became citizens of this great nation. This history is an important part of our national fabric. The refugees who came to Canada in World War II and afterwards helped build the Canada that we know today. Let us resolve to always fight hate, terror, and the forces that seek to extinguish the flame of freedom, and to stand and fight with those who are struggling to achieve it. And let us never forget all the victims of Nazi and Soviet communist tyranny.
Dear friends, 23rd of August 1939 was a dark day for Europe and humanity. On 23rd of August 1939, the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany, Stalin and Hitler, signed the treaty. The infamous Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact and the secret clauses divided Europe into two totalitarian spheres of influence. it continued to pave the way for a policy of injustice and inhumanity. This spelled catastrophe to the entire world. This led to the occupation of Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. 50 years later, the three Baltic nations surprised the world. 23rd of August 1989 was a great day that I hold dear to my heart. 2 million Estonians, Latvians and Lithuanians literally joined hand in hand to say no more to oppression. The famous Baltic Way, spanning from Tallinn to Riga to Vilnius, was 600-kilometer long human chain. Hope was born. The Baltic Way brought important changes to regional and even global history. It was achieved through the joint commitment and confidence manifested by every individual. Today, we strongly can declare that we will never tolerate totalitarianism or genocide against any people. Today, we give great thanks to Canada for not only the readiness to stand by our side as an ally, but also for the physical troop deployment to Latvia since 2017. We feel good that Latvia is a host country for the Canadian-led NATO battle group. Canada's presence in Latvia is strengthening the transatlantic bond and keeping the peace in Europe. Thank you for joining us and being with us in support of the independence that we all hold dear. I give thanks from my heart and from more than 20,000 Latvians that are living in Canada. Most of them came here seeking a safe haven in dark times. These World War II refugees have actively and proudly contributed to building the nation that Canada is today. Let's treasure and defend our freedom in every moment. Thank you, merci, and paldies.
"82 years ago, two dictators decided how they will divide Europe, Stalin and Hitler, and that's when Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was signed, dividing all of us, leading to occupation of the Baltic nations. 50 years after, we stood and fought for our freedom, but this fight is not over yet. And being thankful to Canada and Canadian people for their support and non-recognition of illegal annexation of our countries, I'm really proud that we gathered today and commemorating this important day.